Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to Structural Dynamics class. So in this class we will study about base isolation systems. So first of all, what is base isolation? So the name itself is a self-explanatory one, that is we are isolating the base. Say this is a structure and it is placed on the ground and then it is vibrating. So when it is vibrating because of the input ground motion and the structure's displacements are very large. So we need to first find out the safety, and second one is comfort of the occupants. So what we do is, say there are different techniques. One is called active control method, passive control method. In passive control method we have say tuned mass damper, tuned liquid damper. There are other techniques, but there is a very popular technique which is called base isolation technique. So this base isolation technique is, it will not allow the vibration energy to enter inside the building. So that means what, we are isolating the building. So ground is here, building is here, so in between we place some material such that the frequencies which are relevant to the structure's vibration will be filtered out and other frequencies will enter which will anyway not cause harm to the structure. So that is what is a concept of base isolation technique. So in this demonstration we are discussing about base isolation technique. So what is base isolation? So for example, if the structures are founded or located on the ground which is imparting acceleration to the buildings. So if this ground vibrates, there is a possibility that buildings on the ground, standing on the ground, might collapse. So now what we do in the base isolation concept is, we try to put the buildings on the ground but with an isolation in between. So what is isolation? If you look at closely the isolation in this one, as you can see, it is resting on say 4 rubber bearings. So what these rubber bearings do is, even if the ground is shaking, it will not transfer the frequencies which will affect the building through these rubber bearings. So we have to understand the natural frequencies of the building or evaluate natural frequencies of the building and then design the bearings in such a manner that those frequencies are eliminated from the ground motion which is entering into the building. So this is called base isolation technique. So we are isolating the frequencies which will harm the structure. So those frequencies will not enter the structure, and that technique is called base isolation technique. So if you can look at this closely, so it depends on how many, here in this case we have a full platform resting on these rubber bearings, but in some special cases these rubber bearings can be designed for individual columns. So this base isolation is slowly becoming popular and it is used for short period buildings. So base isolation technique is like explained in this figure, something like say building which has to rest on the ground is now supported by using this like elastomeric rubber pads, these pads, and then so they will have a capacity to bear the complete load of the building vertically, so under gravity loads, and the moment when you shake the building, when you shake the ground, so they will take all the shear deformation. So it is something like this. Okay, so as you can see, this is a column and total load of the column is coming onto this base isolation system. So this is elastomeric rubber pad, there is a shear key, and then you have layers of rubber and different materials. Okay, so the shear key provides offer shear resistance, that is number one, and then if building is displacing, so all the amount of the shear deformation will be taken into consideration. Then base isolators act as a filter. So what is the meaning of filter? So let's take a building. So building has say natural frequency or natural period T1, T2, T3. So this is the range of building frequencies. Okay, say natural period, say I would say that say 0.08 up to say 0.4 seconds. Okay, so this is different range of frequencies present in this building. Then what we do is we will filter it out. So when we have say ground motion T, so if you take say Fourier spectrum of this ground motion, something like this, T and amplitude. So this is a range of periods, and because of which there is a possibility of damage to the structure. So what we do is we will filter out these frequencies and will be left with the motions something like this. So these frequencies are filtered out. So this is a concept like explained in a simple manner, that the energy present in the frequencies which might damage or which may damage the structure, that energy is removed. So this is a mathematical concept. So how do we remove physically? So physically what we do is, so we will put a filter here, filter kind of thing, and ground is here. So ground, earthquake is entering first the filter, and then unwanted frequencies are removed from that, and then the remaining frequencies are entering the building, which will not cause harm to the building. So that is the concept of base isolation. So base isolation technique is used for short story buildings. So reason for that is, if I take small building, then it will have mainly shear behavior, but if I take tall building, then it will have bending behavior, so flexure behavior. So because of flexure behavior, what happens is the columns at the edges may get lifted up. So base isomeric elastic bearings, so they will not have much tension capacity. So what happens is the seating or shear key from the column or below the column will come out. So it will not offer any tension resistance. So that's why base isolation technique is not suitable for tall buildings. It is suitable for short buildings, say 5-story to 10-story buildings are suitable candidates for base isolation techniques. So shear keys will provide to connect column at the and base isolation system. So for long period structure, shear key will overturn, and then it is not applicable for long period structures. So bearing is to be designed to filter the predominant frequencies or to reduce the amplitude of the range of frequencies. So band pass filters, low pass filters, high pass filters we use. There are special filters called Kanai Tajmi filters are used to filter these frequencies. So we'll see a cartoon how this base isolation works. So in India we have some applications of base isolation techniques. As you all know that in 2001 January 26th we had a massive earthquake in Gujarat. So 6.9 magnitude earthquake which damaged so many buildings, and life loss was around 14,000 people died during that earthquake. So now a hospital building which was severely damaged was reconstructed, and a base isolation technique was used in that. So it is a 4-story hospital building, so Bhuj Hospital in Gujarat, so where it is standing on isomeric rubber pads. You can see in between the column and the structure, so there is base isolators in this one, as you can see. So they have a capacity to deform laterally, and they are very strong enough to carry the entire load of the building in gravity.